you mentioned Kyrie. Kyrie has not spoken to reporters recently, but...
Now, Kyrie Irving, he exposed the media on a Sunday stream, and no one seems to have noticed. And what got me to make this video in the first place was what Malika said. Oh, she slipped up.
He was on Twitch over the weekend, and he addressed the disappointing finish for the Nets last season. Take a listen.
And I personally do not agree with his vaccination opinions, right? I don't think he's right when it comes to that. But the streamers he was talking with, I mean, they're in the top 10s, all of them, in Twitch subs. And they've accrued over 100,000 concurrent views combined. That is big.
We got 4-0, my G. We got 4-0.
Bro, they even censored the chat, bro. ESPN, man, I don't think you understand what you just did to yourselves.
It was meant to happen like that. Motivation, bro. We needed that humbling experience, especially going against the Celtics. You know, it was already built in to be that matchup. So we're gonna see him again. We're gonna have to.
Now we have to get into why ESPN even wanted to make this video in the first place, right? Okay, Kyrie appeared on the stream, yada yada yada. But why would they do this in the first place?
So I was talking to some folks this weekend, Nick, who said, you know, Kyrie Irving knows that this season, it's a big one for him. He has some things to prove. What do you think?
This is where things got really interesting. I mean, just listen to what Nick Friedel, a guy that covers the Brooklyn Nets, had to say.
He's got a lot of stuff to prove. First, he's got to play all the time, and he's got to be invested in the framework of that team every day during the year. And if he does that, the contract from somebody's going to be there.
Now, we all know that Kyrie Irving last season didn't play too many games, and that particularly is one of the biggest topics of discussion when it comes to his career right now.
The contract from somebody's going to be there, but count me in the group that does not believe that all of these things are going to be able to come together. And I'm laughing listening to that soundbite. You lose 4-0 to the Celtics, and that's going to motivate the group? What that group was missing was camaraderie.
Oh boy, ESPN, if you're going to talk about Kyrie, what he said in that clip, at least show the full clip.
They got to be together to get it. And Kyrie's at the heart of that. So if Kyrie shows up, we know how great he can be when he plays.
Yeah.
He's got to play, and he's got to be part of that team every day.
Now, what I appreciate about Malika here is that she crafts the narrative for us so that we don't have to listen to what Nick said.
Well, and there's no question that Kyrie Irving is just an insanely talented basketball player. The questions have surrounded the last couple of seasons. Will he be available? Will he show up?
Now we've watched ESPN have their say. Now let's get to some things. Let's clear some stuff up and talk about the past, how ESPN treated Kyrie. We all know about the infamous, I promise I'll stay in Boston, but then he ends up in Brooklyn. And of course, Kyrie was not a particularly popular guy with some people. And of course, he got hurt during the 2019 season, and they were set to play the Celtics, and Kyrie was not available for that game. And Kendrick Perkins thought it was a fluke. Kyrie was lying about his injury. He was just trying to avoid the Celtics crowd that was really against him at that point. And just listen to the chants. I mean, ESPN, they had people on their networks that weren't shy to, speculate on an injury being fake. And, Kyrie posted on Instagram that there's more to life than basketball. And by the way, can we please talk about how the Celtics are setting this man up, Udoka? I mean, this is just wrong. To publicize this and not fire the guy, I mean, you're just setting him up for failure right now. And by the way, Shams clears. Now, Kyrie Irving, we got to get to the full clip. Like I said, I was going to show you this clip because ESPN wasn't.
So, Kyrie, what's the plan for this season?
Get him up. Get him up.
Get bucks.
Yeah, but just on both. I gotta get it up on both ends of the floor, bro. I gotta be a complete player. Coming for different hardware this year, bro.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I've been in the lab crazy, bro. Since we got 4-0, my G. We got 4-0.
How convenient was it that they left that part out? I mean, that part could have easily been edited into the video, but no. ESPN, they work in sound bites. That's how they work, obviously. The part that I promised you guys since the beginning, what Malika said that triggered the hell out of me, right here, was the part that set me off.
You mentioned Kyrie. Kyrie has not spoken to reporters recently, but...
So the reason why they even wanted to talk about Kyrie on Twitch was because Kyrie Irving didn't bother to speak to the reporters. Instead, he went on a stream with the boys.
As a fan, though, who would be like, I don't even know if you can answer it. Who would be like one of your favorite players to like, aside from KD, he don't count. Can't say KD. That's a cop-out. Even though it's probably true.
It's everybody, bro. Honestly, it's everybody. It's up.
I feel that.
WPR answer.
WPR.
And if you want to know why Kyrie doesn't like talking to reporters in the first place, I mean, he says it himself right here.
My life started changing, and you talking about when I started connecting a lot more just to communities was just when I got out of this media-trained, robotic, like I'm answering questions a certain type of way, bro, and I'm not comfortable all the way.
What Kyrie did in his stream was expose a lot of how the media works.
You know, I'm being something I'm not. So people are asking me questions, and they're like, yo, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And it has something to do with my career or something I said or did in my life. And it could be in the media or it could be just somebody asking me, bro. I felt so uncomfortable because I was taught to give media responses. And when you say that, you look at your athletes or you look at entertainers as robots, bro, we're literally trained when we're 16, 17, 18 years old to be prepared for when we come into these public positions. It's different.
And if you want to compare 2022 Kyrie to a Kyrie 5 years ago that got traded to the Celtics, that went on First Take, this is interesting. I mean, just look at how he answers questions in here.
So I just want to get it straight. You no longer wanted to play with LeBron James?
Excuse me?
Did you no longer want to play with LeBron James?
I mean, it's not really about wanting or not wanting to. It really just became how everyone turned this into a madness because it was myself and LeBron. If this were anybody else getting traded, I don't think it would have been as big a storyline. Being with that guy was unbelievable. It was something that I will relish in for the rest of my life because the situations that we came across as...
And you get it, guys. He was dodging the questions. He was not straightforwardly answering these questions. And that's really what you're trained to do because the media, they have gotcha questions. They have very loaded questions they ask you.
Then I'm a little confused by the answer, Kyrie, because when you say you don't have ego, I see the way you play at the end of games. You want the ball. You're a killer in crunch time, and you're extremely talented. It seems to me that kind of player, the closer, as they say, does have ego. So if you say that you want to leave LeBron because that's the crossroads in your career, you're ready to kind of have your own team, are you also saying, it seems to me you would be saying, but correct me if I'm wrong, that you think you have a better chance of winning a championship on another team because as a winning player, I would assume that would be the ultimate goal, not necessarily seeing how far you can go on your own.
Bro, why did he take so long to ask a simple question? Oh, man, ESPN sucks.
Do you think by leaving Cleveland that's what you did, or am I wrong in my premise?
Well, when you think about the journey and then you also put things into perspective for what they really are, it's a truthful environment, and I wasn't getting that. And that's where it really stands.
And when people were watching this, they were commenting like, yo, Kyrie, why aren't you answering these questions? It's because he was trained not to do so at a very young age.
It's really just you're trained to say certain answers, to avoid certain subjects. Whenever it gets like political, you're only supposed to be a fence sitter. You can't be on one side or the other. Like, if you start speaking about something that's going on in the world and you're not talking about basketball, it's like, what the fuck? Why are you bringing this up right now? What are you going to use your platform for? You've heard the term shut up and dribble that goes on with this society for just entertainers. So fighting through all that mud.
What these three guys have done is essentially give Kyrie a platform much bigger than ESPN, TNT, all these old guard platforms, right? And they simply let him express himself, and they really humanized him in a way that the old guard media could not, right? They could not accept or even tolerate something like this even being aired out. So they had to do their best to edit as much of this stream as they could.
Just experience, man, and just going through some like trauma early on in my childhood. I lost my mom to substance abuse. I lost my grandmother to substance abuse. And I grew up with a single parent, that worked his ass off for me to have the dream that I have now. And he sacrificed his for me to get here. So me paying it forward was just
doing what he did, bro. And he just brought a lot of people in the crib that he just mentored, and he just held space for them, man. So I've had brothers and sisters my whole life just in and out of my house, just helping, however. And it's not just financially, it's like just being there for people, bro. My family's from the Bronx, New York, Mitchell Project, 16J. My grandmother raised 6 kids up there, and we all made it out.
And I'll tell you, man, it's not often you hear someone like Kyrie have to express himself this way, because often he's being treated like this.
When you're talking about Kyrie Irving, listen, Greeny, if you take Kyrie Irving's brain and put it in a bird right now, guess what that bird is going to do? It's going to fly backwards. Because Kyrie right now, he's confused. He's showing his lack of leadership.
Now, this was said in response to Kyrie not wanting to go to the bubble, which is weird. And obviously, Kendrick Perkins, when he saw that Kyrie was vice president of the NBPA, I mean, you could hear his reaction was pretty vile.
Who?
You remember Kyrie Irving?
Oh, I'm so glad I'm retired. I'm glad I done started I'm so glad I'm out the league. That's all I got to say. Because I'm telling you, that's the blind leading the blind.
Kendrick.
Now, you may be convinced that Kyrie did not expose the media, that this was clickbait just to talk about him being on stream. And it was not, I promise you, because what he did, expressing himself like this, saying the things he said about how he was trained as a kid to answer these questions by the media, taking the veil off and being human, much like you see in JJ Redick's podcast, you see him with Ben Simmons recently. I mean, these guys have much bigger platforms than ESPN, and as much as ESPN's gonna quiver and whine, Kyrie wants nothing to do with them anymore.
They are trying to get him out of here. The higher forces. The higher ups are trying to get Kyrie out of here, bro.
Yo, Rage, chill, bro. That's
Now look, if you want to watch more videos on my channel, you could start with the one that's suggested to you by YouTube right here, because I don't have much of an outro right now. I just want to get this done. Okay, I want to get this video out there to as much people as I can. So if you like and subscribe, go ahead and click the like button. It's going to help me massively in order to attract more people. Bye bye.